Well, alrighty then, hello there. Here I am for the light tier list. Again, I'm sorry for being late. It's just, sometimes you just have too much school stuff to do and you just don't have enough free time. So it is what it is, I wish I could sit here and record these videos all the time, but school comes first. At least we're here, better later than never, I guess. So anyways, in this tier list video, I won't be talking about units that are in the bottom of the tier list, more on the bottom side, because I feel like there's no need to talk about them unless they get updated or buffed by a lot, which didn't happen to any of these units, to my knowledge. So if you want to know what I think about those, I'm sure in my previous tier list you will hear me saying stuff about some of these units, but I'll try to talk more and more about each of them. Anyways, so yeah. Okay, so we are starting with the first anniversary light element Asuna, who should be around here. Yeah. So very useful unit. With her being a charger and a breaker, of course you have two units in one basically. She's giving recollection field, which is very good. Lowering attack, which is okay. But of course her damage is fine as well. I really like this unit, but at this point I feel like there are just better options than her. She's actually moving down, in my opinion, because even with her being a charger and a breaker, I'm sorry, there are just better units coming out, which is just how gacha games work. I feel like she's still good. She still, does her job just fine. But I don't be surprised if I would move her down by the next time I make a light tier list, because we have just monstrous strong units, and of course 200% incarnate skills are gonna become norm with every upcoming unit, just like the break stacking, charge stacking, which this Asuna doesn't have. So unless she gets her EX skills upgraded, she's gonna stay, continue to go down in my tier list at least. Now, the Ronie, she's a break killer. She's a very useful unit. I get it. And usually I do prefer to put break killers in the must-have position, or the very good position before, when I was doing my tier list in another way. But in my opinion, this light element ranking actually didn't need Ronie. Like, if you had, let's say, the new Kirito and some other breakers like this Asuna, you were fine. Like, you were fine. Like, that's just how I felt like. Or if you had this admin in the team, like, I mean, this admin with her EX skills buffed, she's just a monster unit in my opinion. So obviously, in my opinion, Ronie is still not a useless unit, because break-killing still could be a useful thing in the future, so I'm not trying to underrate her that much. But I would say if you had like the new characters, the new Yuji and Kirito, you were fine, or maybe admin even, you were fine. So I'm gonna put her into the decent tier, just because we didn't actually need break killers for this light element ranking, and just in my opinion. Then on, we have the Swimsuit Xenon, and of course, because she's a limited character, I couldn't pull her up in the notification board, because she's on no banners basically. So I pulled up my old video for you to see that the Swimsuit units basically were back in summertime. We had an AOE ranking event, which means that the boss had multiple targets. You had multiple targets to hit, and these the Swimsuit Xenon and the Swimsuit Lina here, they were focused on dealing more and more damage the more targets you have basically. So they are very good units, they have very good things going about them, like the Xenon, of course, she has, like, all her skills are AoE basically. Like, she was a monstrous and very good unit back in the summer light ranking event. So she deals more damage based on the number of enemy targets, just as I said, recovers HP and increases critical damage. And she does the same thing on her assault skill, which just goes to show that she's just a monstrously powerful unit, you know, like dealing damage alone, she's good for that, but she's also supporting, healing, like she's giving the team a lot. And I've actually seen many whales still use her, even though of course her damage numbers weren't maxed out because she only had one target to hit in this ranking event. I will still put her in God tier because you just needed her to reach the points that you know, the Japanese whales got and stuff like that. So she's a very good unit, and I'm so sad that I'm actually missing her. If you know, you know. Those summer bikini characters just didn't come through to me, so it is what it is. And the Lina is slightly worse in my opinion. She was the breaker for the same ranking event, so she also has the same, you know, AoE skills, but the only thing is that she breaks. And she gives recollection field mainly, so she doesn't give as much support. So in my opinion that kinda bumps her down a bit, so I would be fine with giving her the very strong tier. But you know, these summer units, they were magic attack users. So if you had the new Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, which the new Yu-Gi-Oh buffs attack, and the this Kirito and the Lifa, I mean, both of them just buff attack, like, not many magic attack buffers for the light team. So I don't wanna bump down the Lina into decent tier just yet, but if by the next ranking out we don't get, like, magic attack buffers or more, you know, support for magic characters, I believe she could be bumped down, because she's, you know, also getting outdated. Even though she's a limited unit and she has of course the waifu art, because I mean she's in a swimsuit, obviously her art is cool and all, but you know, she's kinda falling down in my opinion, slowly but surely. I actually haven't seen many people use her, so I guess I could make a tier down below in between decent and very strong tier, like add a tier below. I would actually name it a nice option. Like that. Okay, and bump down the Lina there and make it like a, I don't know, a white, I guess, or a grey. Because she's actually, I don't think she will be as good as the other characters that are gonna be in this tier. Even though she's newer than most of the characters that are gonna be here, these characters just, you know, gave something else to the team. They could just do more than her, and I think that's just enough to make a tier between a decent and very strong. Then we have the very OG light element Solace Xenon. She's not very good anymore. Now this is the Dress Alice, one of the characters I want the most, because of just, you know, of her art, and she's a very strong character actually. She has a super strong incarnate skill, still a very good damage dealer in the light team. In my opinion, she's worthy of being in the very strong tier. Same thing with this light element Lifa. In my opinion, this Lifa is also very good. I actually got her pretty recently on the Yu-Gi-Oh banner, I think. Yeah, in the 5 4-star multi. That was easily my best multis. So this Lina is very cool as well. She still does pretty good damage. It's kind of just like the Asuna. She has a healing on attack on her assault skill, if I believe I'm correct. And maybe, if I remember right, she buffs physical resistance, which isn't the best anymore, but also gives recollection field at the same time, and she charges a good amount, so I don't see no problem with getting her into a very strong tier. because she's actually, you know, pulling her weight in my opinion. Now, one other charger that actually was very useful because of the sheer amount that she charges was the first anniversary light elemental eidis, and that is because she has the Imaginariums, obviously. You know, 10% more charge per Imaginarium. So this is actually not the best of the best characters. And she wasn't that even during the first anniversary. So even though she had a very high attack stat, like even higher than the Kiritos, the first anniversary Kiritos, she actually didn't hit as hard as what we were waiting for. So she kinda got useless as time went by, but she was useful again for this ranking event. I actually, you know, in the strategy I even recorded and posted a video about, she was a very key unit because she just charged a lot. You could even use this lifa because they do similar things, I would say, but of course this was the, you know, the option because she ultimately just charges more and has some better, you know, the healing skill and giving the recoil action field at the same time is just a faster way to you know, get recoil action field and heal at the same time. It's just better. Of course, her damage is not the best in the game, but she still put her weight along the, you know, the new anniversary characters pretty fine in my opinion. Now, right after that, probably the oldest characters that is still just one of the best in the game, the light element. I'll show her in a second here. Let me just scroll up. Goddess of Earth lifa. And I mean, you could ask, like, why is she that good even though she's old? Well, her damage is fine. Her damage is pretty good actually. But what really makes her special is her kit. She has probably one of the single best kits in the game in my opinion. Of course not perfect by any means, but still just, she has everything. She heals on incarnate skill, she buffs attack for 2 turns and has the short wait after using skills. Then she raises critical damage of all allies by 20% on her assault skill and lowers physical resistance by 20% for a turn on her charge skill. So she debuffs and she can buff a crit or attack. Now of course, now obviously we do have characters today like the new Yu-Gi-Oh that does attack and crit buffing at the same time in one skill, which, you know, obviously is better than what the lifa has, but still the lifa just has everything and her damage is still fine. Without her, you were just not going far. And in my opinion, she's one of the best units to work on, even though she's like 1.5 years old already. She's very good, and she could still get her EX skills updated in a couple of months, or maybe her Imaginarium. So I mean, yeah, she's still gonna be viable for a long time, just because of the support, and her damage is still fine, as I said. Very good. In my opinion, easily puts her above these other units. And I actually would bet that many players would agree with me on this decision to put her into the must-have tier, because she's just that good. Then on Dragon Alice, pretty decent character. She kind of fell off. Her kit is not that very good anymore. I can show it real fast. Oh, I actually, you know, found her pretty fast. So she has the additional weak attack on top of her normal damage. It's like, yeah, she just charges and deals damage. That's basically what she does, and her damage isn't even that, you know, viable anymore. She's just decent. If you don't have any better chargers, she still does her work as a charger pretty decently, but not the best character by any means. Goddess Asuna, just not good in my opinion. Same thing with the Fanatio. Let me actually get faster a bit. Light Maiden Alice, probably my favorite incarnate skill still. I can actually show her so you know her name. because, you know, many of you were asking me to actually show their names, because it's pretty hard to, you know, find units that I'm talking about just by, you know, their pictures there. So this Lieutenant Alice, she got released back together with this Lifa, but she's just not as good. But still, probably easily my favorite incarnate skill animations because of the moment in the anime, basically. Swimsuit Suguha, she came out at the same time as the Xenon and the Lina, but because she's a free character, I don't know if you should use her, and she also was an AoE unit, which just made her, of course, hit weaker, and she also used magic attack. So, you know, you get the point. Then on Light Element Tisei, I don't need to talk about her as much. She has very good Imaginariums, so if you have her Imaginariums, that's very good for you. But she also uses magic attack, and yeah, I mean, she's a fine unit. Now, Enhanced mode Solus Xenon is also a decent character. She's like one of the most creative characters they have ever released, in my opinion, because she starts out as a charger, I think, if I'm not wrong. She starts out as a charger, and when she goes in enhanced mode, she switches into a breaker unit. So very creative. You can, you know, play around with her, but she's also kind of started to fall down. Then on first anniversary Dual Blade Kirito, another very good unit. In my opinion, he's just still very strong. He kind of got outdated a tiny bit by the new Kirito, but at the same time, he's still as OP as he was. That's just what I think. The Super Song Incarnate skill, he still deals very good damage, and of course has the pretty OP buff skill, which also gives a recollection field. I mean, he has everything he needs, and he's easily worthy of being very strong, maybe even must have, but I will actually leave him in the very strong tier. Then on Administrator, now she's also a unit I could actually put into must have because of her Imaginariums, and she just got her EX skills upgraded, and she just became one of the most broken Light Element characters as well. If you didn't get the new characters, but she has a very useful breaker, because she also gives recollection fields actually on her incarnate skill and on her break skill, if I remember correctly. But then her EX skills made it possible so that you can do 200% incarnate skills and break stacking, and yeah, many other goodies, which is very good for her. Light Element Charge Eller, Halloween Yuki, obviously one of the most needed characters in Light Element because of the charge yelling. I advise all of you to get her up to level 105 to get the short wait time after using the charge skill, which could save you some turns. Very good unit. Of course, her damage is super low. Like, she hits like 60k even with almost a full, full Imaginariums, even built out rings. Like, she's not the strongest asset in the light team, but she provides the recollection field and the charge yelling. She's very good, obviously. So now, the anniversary units. So let me talk. I mean, I obviously just need to put them into the, like, all of them are in God tier. Let me just say that much. All of them are in the God tier. Even though I'm disappointed in the devs, because of how uncreative they were during this anniversary, the units they just made were just OP. Like, I have posted many videos of me just, you know, destroying story bosses, of me doing like 13 million in the ranking event with Kirito and Asuna. So obviously these characters are broken, and in my opinion, content is gonna get harder and harder. More and more, you know, better and better units are gonna get released. And of course, the 200% incarnate skills, you know, with the Kirito and the Asuna together, just, you know, they just surpass anything else. And the break stacking, charge stacking. Like, in my opinion, Sinon is at the bottom of God tier, and these other guys, they could even be on a tier above easily, because without them, you're just having a hard time, first things first, and then you're just not dealing damage. I mean, they are gonna be your main damage dealers. Yu-Gi-Oh is gonna be your main support character, with him giving recollection field, raising attack and critical damage. Yu-Gi-Oh is like a must-have, like for real a must-have character. Without him, you're not gonna do fine in future light talent ranking, as that's for sure. Kirito is like the strongest healing light talent character. You know, with the 200% incarnate skill, super strong. Like, if you're, you know, combining Kirito and Asuna together, I'm sure they're gonna hit like massive amounts of damages. And Kirito can give himself a mini break yell, and Asuna can give herself a mini charge yell, which in itself is just pretty broken, because they can just do it whenever they want to, and they just charge more because, you know, like, they're just that OP. Very, very good characters, in my opinion. Like, after this anniversary, the item is most probably my favorite element in the whole game. So that is my tier list. I really, really hope this helped. Again, I'm sorry that I'm constantly being late with, you know, some videos. It is what it is. We're racing to 2,000 subscribers. Maybe by the end of the year, that would be amazing. So, you know, if you haven't yet, you could, you know, drop a subscribe. I'm not usually asking for you know, for all of you to subscribe, but you know, it would be a pretty nice Christmas gift to, or a New Year's gift to reach it before 2022. So yeah, make sure to drop a subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.